Hello, my name is Dr. Tiffany Miller Alexander, and I am the Spaceport Integration Medical and Environmental Services Division Chief. A big part of our division's job is to protect the wellness of our KSC workforce, our workplace, and our environment. One area of wellness that is also important is to ensure we continue to learn and grow in diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. In honor of the federal holiday, Juneteenth, which commemorates the end of slavery in the United States, I'd like to introduce you to an 18th century historical landmark on KSC property known as the Elliott Plantation. Although this site represents one of the lowest parts of our American history, the Elliott Plantation brings awareness not only to the history of the land, but an understanding of why it is imperative to ensure we take care of each other and promote an inclusive, more equitable workplace for everyone.
So this is the ruins of a sugar mill from the British period in Florida in the mid and 1770s into the 1780s. And then the little structure at the bottom is a distillery, and then the water just on the other side of the distillery is a dug canal. It was part of the Elliott Plantation. Elliott was a wealthy Englishman who was given a land grant, and he hired a land agent who traveled from England here. His name was John Ross. John Ross came over with 5 or 6 people from England that were carpenters and a cooper and a blacksmith, and they set up a plantation here to grow indigo and sugarcane and basically whatever crops they could to generate money for Mr. Elliott. The overseer or the land agent was John Ross, and he made a number of trips from St. Augustine to here. He arrived in St. Augustine, then was given permission to seek a 1,000-acre tract of land. He came down to the Mosquito Lagoon and selected this because it's got what he thought was fertile soil and access to the water, for transportation. And he selected this site, went back to St. Augustine, registered this site, and then came back and oversaw construction of residences and slave quarters and barns and and the infrastructure that they needed to start a indigo and sugarcane plantation. And then he left here again and went to Savannah and purchased slaves with Mr. Elliott's money, and then brought between 50 and 80 slaves back to the site. And then they cleared the forest and made fields. They dug canals for irrigation and to transport their products. And they grew their own food. They made, they had kitchen gardens, and they built structures for themselves to sleep in. And they made a go of a plantation here for about 10 years.